Hi everyone, and thanks for taking the time to watch this video. After the tournament is always before the next tournament. And while I don't have the opportunity to play many pro quests this year or this season, I'm going to attend one in Flensburg in about a week. I'm still not yet 100% decided what deck I'm going to play. I'm playing around with a few, but I definitely try to get more prep in with Mario. And obviously, there are some new heroes that you need testing in, and where you need to understand what's your game plan into them, what cards do you need to sideboard, etc. I was very happy to face Reviled Kayo the other day. So let's take a look at this game and how it went. All right, so my opponent had to start. I was able to win the die roll, and my opponent just decided to put a card in the arsenal. So I start with a cut from the same cloth. I see quite a few cards: Steal Victory, Overcrowded, Outside Interference, which doesn't block, and a Mocking Blow. The good thing right now is that Reviled Kayo is not ahead in life. And so obviously like the Mocking Blow is not really a great card to use right now. But so I bet that Kayo really tries to not get lower life here. But I have a very strong start here, right? So I used the cut from the same cloth. I pitched the Orb-Weaver Spinneret. They blocked with the D-React in the arsenal as well as the Overcrowded. And so now here I can easily go to 4 by flicking the Hunter's Clave and making them banish another card from the hand. Obviously, the Outside Interference does not block, so that's most likely a card they keep in hand or they discard to fetch another one. But given that they will most likely be on lesser life now, they have already been blocking with the Mocking Blow, and they still can use one of the blue cards to pitch into Hunter's Clave, into their claw, of course, or as I said, discard the Outside Interference. I'm deciding to not use the Go Again I got from Mark of the Black Widow hitting, but to arsenal the Codex here. I mean, I could have made them discard, but they, would have chosen like the Mocking Blow, I guess, again. So here they come in for 3, and I do have quite a potent hand, right? So I want to mark them first here by pitching the Orb-Weaver Spinneret. Then I want to play the Orb-Weaver Spinneret and the Savor Bloodshed, and then ideally hit them with a Kiss of Death. I don't want to mark them, right? I don't want to, of course I want to mark them, but I don't want to flick my Clave in order to mark them. But they sniffed it out and they blocked the Hunter's Clave. But I'm still deciding to go ahead with this and use both of the pumps as well as the Kiss of Death. Not likely that I'm going to flick the Hunter's Clave here, but I mean, at the end it's 11 damage. And what Reviled Kayo definitely does not want is to go into lower life total, because that is then very tough on many of their attacks. But they do have quite a good blocking hand: Show of Strength, Apex Bonebreakers, so they create a Might. They have the Scabbies, and now also they're using the Shelter from the Storm. And yeah, that blocks it out. Like, even if I would flick the Hunter's Clave now, I could only go to 11, which, doesn't really make sense here, right? Because I would not get Go Again. And so I pass and go into the next turn. Probably a Claw for 4, I would assume. Or, no, actually they do have a Looking for Scrap here. So I use a Tunic resource to come in for 6. Makes sense. I could go down to 31. I mean, my hand is really potent again. I can use Cut from the Same Cloth as a buff, use one of the blues to pitch into Hunter's Clave, as well as into Graphene of the Stains of the Redback to get Go Again. And here they do have a blue Mocking Blow, a Nimblism, Command and Conquer, Looking for Scrap. So let's see with what they block here. Oh, they actually thinking about giving me the flashback. Interesting. Okay, so they flashback my Persuasive Prognosis, which is okay. I don't really need it for this turn. So now I go into the Graphene Chelicera. I still have the Tunic resource to play the Stains of the Redback without flicking the Hunter's Clave, so come in for 4 Go Again. And now I can use my Codex of Frailty. And I decide here to go with the Black Widow, because at the end, it still threatens the banish, right? I mean, the Kiss of Death would be 1 more damage if it hits them. I would guess they block one way or the other. But they still need to respect that I could flick the Hunter's Clave and make them banish another card. And so they decided for a Looking for a Scrap and discarding another Looking for a Scrap. They don't have a Tunic resource up, so playing this might be awkward. If they can keep a blue, they can do the Looking for a Scrap and then go into the Mandible Claw, which would be 4 into 3. But I actually go quite aggressive here and flick the Hunter's Clave. I have not seen Retrieve yet, so it will come in the next few turns, I hope. Because that's what I learned. Sometimes I just have to be more aggressive with my flicks to generate some value here. And I think they probably didn't expect me to use the Hunter's Clave here. And so I hit them for 4. They need to banish another card. Actually, banish the Command and Conquer. That's obviously a line that they could have taken, right? Where they could have used the Looking for a Scrap and then used the 2 resources into Command and Conquer. Now, no on-hit and 3 less damage from this flick. And I do draw into Retrieve, so my hand aligns quite well here. The question is, do I block with the Codex here? Because I can't really make much use of it, right? I used the Up Sticks and Run. I pitched the Persuasive Prognosis. Yeah, I'm still, like, I'm a resource short, technically. So probably not blocking is the right decision here. Up Sticks and Run, resource, then 2 resources into the Clave. And using, because I need to use the Stains of the Redback into, on the Chelicera, right? And I don't really have an opportunity to, mark them otherwise. So not sure why I blocked with the Codex here. Okay. Now I see what I want to do. So I'm not expecting to use the Hunter's Clave, but actually keep a resource from the Persuasive Prognosis to use it on the Stains of the Redback and come in for 8, go again, and then use the Codex again, which allows me to do the similar play again, where I have the Mark of the Black Widow and then could theoretically banish another card with a Hunter's Clave. But yeah, I decided to not play the Codex here at all. And yeah, maybe that's also like a fine play here, because RKO often wants to block with 1 or 2 cards in their hand. And so now, if they don't have a pummel here, they most likely AP themselves with 2 and took 8 damage for doing that. And so show strength, obviously, if I block with a Command and Conquer, it goes down to 7. I don't really need the Command and Conquer because I want to mark my opponent. So definitely pitching 2 into Hunter's Clave could be a thing to use get most use of the to the point. And so yeah, they actually IP themselves by 2. No block on the Hunter's Clave. Even if they would have blocked, I could have used the Scar Tissue to go over their most likely 3 block. And now I can come in with some real damage, right? Scar Tissue buffs this to 5. To the point buffs it to 9. They stay marked. And now I can use the Codex of Frailty and most likely get the Mark of the Black Widow out again, which would come in for 4 because they are still marked. So they use a Sync, only taking 5 damage here, but already going down to 15. And I again do decide to not use the Codex in my arsenal. Yeah. Same thinking again, that they need to roll the Scabbies in order to do something with their hand. And here they actually hit the 6, so they come in for 8. I finally have a Leave No Witnesses because that was what I was waiting for with my Codex here. And so obviously I could maybe block with both Under the Trapdoor as well as the Obweaver Spinneret at the end. Because I went into Trapdoor, I already have my Inertia Trap out here, so I'm using Trapdoor as well as Inertia Trap, and this allows me to block another 6 on the next attack. And I deliberately kept 2 cards in hand here to block a Command and Conquer. And I decided to give the Leave No Witnesses because I can still get it with my Codex of Frailty. But because I have the Tunic resource come up, I want to go pitch into Chelicera. So I pitch into the Hunter's Glaive to keep my opponent marked. And now I can use the Codex of Frailty and then come in with a Command and Conquer. The good thing is that I'm still ahead in life. So quite a few of the attacks that Reviled Kayo is playing, like Big Bully, etc., is not up to their full effect. And here I use Tunic Resource and come in with a Command and Conquer for 6. Most likely easy to block for KO because KO plays a lot of 3 blocks, but they are down to 3 cards then. And yeah, sometimes KO likes to play all of their cards. And this seems to be a moment because they are letting it pass. And I do get a swing big in their arsenal. Okay, Cursive Tendency as an arsenal target, not ideal, so I keep it in hand in case I don't draw another blue. So here my opponent comes in with a Villainous Pose and then a Mandible Claw. They had a Pummel in hand. They also had a NIMBY to pitch. And here I give them the Cursive Tendency because I don't really need it on my hand. So now up 6 and run, pitch into Hunter's Glaive, or no, knives out, pitch into Hunter's Glaive first. Ideally mark them. Then up 6 and run and Graphene Chelicera. So my opponent has a Vigor, so it is going to be interesting if they keep their grip again, because that could definitely be quite a big attack then. They have a Sink in Arsenal, so only dealing 2 damage here, but down to 5. So with Leave No Witnesses now and the Flick, they are technically dead. So I expect them to block something here. Giving me 2 blocks, another Pummel and Sirens of the Safe Harbor, so they get another life, go up to 6. But yeah, I do have a good amount of tempo. So I use the Vigor and the Big Bully to come in for 3, but my hand is, again, very playable. So probably the same line where I pitch into Hunter's Glaive with the knives out, get them marked, then use the Cut from the Same Cloth into the Graphene Chelicera. It comes in for 6 already with the Cut from the Same Cloth, and I do have the Tarantula Toxin to go over the block. They do have a Sigil, so they can gain 3 life, and they have 9 block in total. They don't have, well, they have Tunic up, but they don't have a Vigor. So in order to play the swing big, they would need to keep at least a blue. So they do block for 4 here. I use Tarantula Toxin on their Steel Victory. So they take 8 if they don't have a D-React anymore, and that would be game. Yeah, pretty quick game against KO. I think at first the lists were pretty defensive, but they have become more offensive in the last 2 weeks or so. But yeah, Mario can be very aggressive, and especially with the banish and the on-hits of, Leave No Witnesses, CNC, this often is quite a good game for me as a Mario player. Yeah, let me know what you think. Was there any line that you would have done differently? There's definitely debate if I should have used the Codex that I had in Arsenal earlier. I mean, there were at least 2 occasions where I could have used it. Not for the full extent, right? So it wasn't like a Leave No Witnesses or CNC that I could have gotten in those moments, but it would have definitely threatened the hands of my opponent more. At the same time, by not using them and them maybe expecting me to do more, they had to IP themselves at least once. The second time they were lucky that they rolled a 6. But yeah, this is definitely also something that at times is viable when you play against Reviled Kayo. So thanks for the time and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.